What up, people? What up? Black Mirror Walker, Chief Joseph Domain. We got a call in line. You want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about this melted realm. You want to talk about what's going on with our augmented weather and whatever. We're just calling in. We're just calling to hang out, to say how you're doing in this realm today. Yo, what's going down? How you doing, sir? I believe I do remember you there, Adam Lowe. How you doing, man? That's great to hear, man. So we just winging it today, man. We said we're gonna have a call in line today. There's a number in the description box if anyone wants to call in and make your voice heard. Yeah, atmospheric. There it is. Adam Lowe says, "Do we see the atmospheric rivers over Indiana?" Man, do we see it? They've been working on this for a while. They put so much debris in the air and laced us up with these white lines, and man, it's crazy how many people died in tornadoes and stuff last night. Just crazy, man. And you know, and that's just Mother Nature, right? Right. They're cooking us with chemtrails. My fucking bones ache, man. My hips hurt. Um, just you know, where my brother lives, it's 2 hours away from me. It's snowing like crazy there. It was raining here, but it stopped raining. So yeah, we've had a lot of augmented weather. Let's see if we can get a little look see at some maps and stuff of Indiana. So we'll go to YouTube here. What's going on there? Yeah, that's better. Yeah, so we got a real gray overcast day here, silver gray, all week long. It's been one long east and west line, and then the north and south ones up through the sky, making X's everywhere. And then every day, all this week. and Wyoming as well. A gentleman who has videos out every day almost for a while, but he's kind of slowed down. He shows you, and with his camera, he shows you that it's the United States naval people doing it. All right, so it's the United States Navy that's doing it. Well, that's one of their planes that was spotted lacing it with 4 lines on either side. You know, so. So that's what we're talking about today. Just kind of kicking it and winging it here, having a kind of uh, lazy, kicking back day, thinking things through, looking around this realm, putting things together. If you do a scan on your YouTube, you see that in the news arena at least, they want to talk about, they want to get Lazar out there with Joe Rogan and talk about aliens and goobly gop stuff, and uh, NASA wants to tell you about planets and blah 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 and thousands and millions of light years away, and just the horse crap. It just don't stop. See, for those who can't see the chat, it says the river flooded into the cornfields. It looks like an ocean. Crane is located in Indiana. The base is bigger than Washington, D.C. So that's some more. Uh, that's more uh, live footage. We should actually have a different stream open with software so we could go capture areas of where this is occurring. But we don't need to do that. There's a crews out there, people probably filming and so forth. So we'll see some aftermaths of that. But that's amazing. Um, they got some thing now, Adam, about you could live stream together. So in our YouTube channel somewhere, I heard, but I haven't did it myself. Yeah, Lake Greenwood. I hear you. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, man. Yeah. So Adam, he's out of Indiana, where the main temple is. The main temple. Even Madonna said it. I'm going to the temple when she was in Indiana. Uh, so lot of uh, mystery revolving around Indiana as well. Our convoluted history. There's so much to be told about, what's really going down in this realm that we live in. He's saying there's tons of missile bunkers with train track running through the hills. It's on Lake Greenwood. Yeah. Yep. Right. And that Taylor Swift, she shot a video in Temple in Indiana. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. There's so much more that we just don't know that we should, but we found out many. Yeah, we found out many things. 2019 was the door opening for so many different arenas in the uh, truth arena, that there were so many rabbit holes to jump in. You didn't know where to jump, and when you did, it led me back to the red bricks again, and to meltology, and the destruction, and fasces, and the burning of paradise, and the coming down of towers. It was just round robin right back to the source. Government. You know what I mean? Government. They're all one. Look, Trudeau. Who the hell is Trudeau? Trudeau is Castro's illegitimate son. Today we know that, but we won't know it's the truth until they get Samantha Smith, the 11-year-old historian, to tell us we're right. Right, I hear you. Yep, you are so right there, Adam. Exactly. So true. I did a thing. I'm training a AI bot myself. I call it Red Brick Bot, but I'm training it myself with truth. Unlike, I tested some of the AI bots um, that they have out on the market that are supposed to be, super smart, can write you an essay and so forth. Well, I asked them some common questions that they would know that it's conspiracy from the government, and they say otherwise, and it's so, and stuff like that. So again, it's how you train your bot, or the answers they'll get. You know what I mean? Um, if you allow that bot to have free thinking, then it would be more decisive in regard to what it would, you know, show you in regard to what you said or what images you're using. See, so I find that interesting, and they're pushing that a lot to make this AI bot that they're creating that'll be soon to be able to read your mind and tell if you're telling the truth or not, and all this other crap, right? And they put people in the imaging machine and show them pictures, and the AI bot tells them what the picture they seen through their mind, right? Yeah, two kids. I hear you. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Well, train them right, man. Show them this realm. Get their minds right. Put some good stuff in their gray matter. Amen to that, man. Yeah, one person said to me, if you're in America, you think those kids are yours? They're not. You and your wife are a pair, and you rent the kids. So you are pair rents. You ever heard that term like that before? And if you really think about it, that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? But that's what they tell you, and you can believe whatever you want to believe. But words are spells. So a pair rents the kids, feeds them for 18 years. Right? We own nothing. You're right. And even when you own it, then you got to pay taxes on the property, and then if you don't pay the taxes, they'll take away your property. Well, it sounds like some third world communistic country, don't it? But yet, if you're in Germany and you own your property and paid for your property, you don't have to pay taxes there no more. But here, you have to pay taxes for your whole entire life, man, for garbage, for a bunch of leaders to argue about if they're going to kill babies or not, if if it's okay to LGBT writes a book and puts it in a library, just millions of dollars wasted. And then we got this Gretchen Whitmer. She wants to infringe upon all our rights while she gives the LGBTQ community more rights. What more rights do they need than the ones that we're already getting taken away from us? Huh? Gretchen Whitmer should be welded in his cell and all her constituents with her. Yep. Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, that's what they tell us. We're sheep, cattle, sold on the stock market exchange, bought and sold on the stock market exchange. Yeah, yeah. You know what? And once you do, I hate the term woke, because some people think that's something else, and when you awaken to all the propaganda and the rhetoric of our government, then you really start seeing you know things much clearer, and it just blows your mind away because you just rethink your own life and how much what you believed is gone because it was nothing but lies, man. you know that's when it really hits you know what I mean? Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we had the paperclip operation, and then we started Walt Disney and NASA, and they incorporated and then got us to pay for all of it to control us some more. Ain't that funny? So yeah, uh, I was trying to call a couple military people to call in the call-in program today because we have a call-in program. You could call 313-409-8236 if you have something you want to share that you think that would be essential for the average citizen to start understanding, or you just want to call in to say hello, or whatever, answers, questions. We got AI bots available to try to solve any question. Um, might not be the right answer, might not be the answer you're looking for, but we're not training our AI bots here to just give you misinformation, because I look at a lot of mainstream media's AI bots. It's just input information they inputted in it with that's misinformation to start with. So like the moon and this realm and planets and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Oh, I bought. Hey, that's nice, man. That's right. We are really, if you think about it, we had a bunch of shit shoved in our, uh, in our hard drive. You know what I mean? And it's all polluted crap. So then we get more information put in it, and we kick it out. We consume all kinds of stuff with our eyes and our ears. 70% of communication is visual and with your ears. Yep, garbage in, garbage out. You know what? An AI bot said, and I was debating an AI bot with another bot, the Red Brick bot. So I was getting two bots to have a throwdown, if you will, talking to one another, right? So the AI bot said that the Red Brick bot said that people can be controlled by a frequency, and the the Red Brick bot talked about how frequencies are used and so forth in experiments, and even gave you examples of bugs using frequencies of way to alter, like a wasp, for example, to alter the way a spider does its web, and to have the child as a host, right? So, and you can, and they say no, that's just a conspiracy. Well, we can just determine in our own mind, just like gangster rap, for example, in major cities, you hear people listening, and it's very violent, and a lot of, you know, emulating out those same type of things when they play them games and listen to violent music, you know. So yeah, that's a form of controlling that person's mind, his vibration, his soul, his ka, his energy. It's a positive or a negative energy, and he's getting negative. So yeah, how can the AI bot say that Man can't be controlled by frequencies when indeed it's happening today. The television. People believe what that stupid box says. See? Wow. That's funny. That's technology at its best there, Adam. So we got this call in line. Nobody's calling. But we're ready. We got the phone ready for anybody who got something to say, call in. Yeah, earlier this morning I seen a lot of aftermath of the tornadoes that uh, killed a bunch of people. Excuse me. Time for another wax on, wax off. So we only have two, three viewers, but the call in line is 1-313-409-8236. You talk about whatever you want. We've been talking about AI bots and OI bots. If you're not familiar with OI bots, that's organic uh, information, uh, organic intelligence, and that's you and I. We are the OI bots. So that was funny. I like that from. So what else is going down? Nothing. Well, we had one leave and nobody else is there, so we got Holy R, Shalom, Holy R, Holy Roller, Holy R. How you doing? And we got Covenant Remnant and Red Brick Bob, aka Black Mirror Walker, Chief Joseph Domain. And we just been talking about the storm a little bit about AI bots, a little bit about the chemtrails. You know, they say that's a conspiracy, but they have the United States Naval Navy laying 8 at a time, 4 lines on one side and 4 on another for miles and miles and miles and miles that don't dissipate. Yeah, Raleigh, Raleigh R. Yeah, is controversial. Okay. Well, I don't know. You got a channel? Put a link out there. What's he talking about? What you talking about there? Rory R. Roly? I said Rory, and it's yeah, because I've been watching golf. So I said Rory, see, instead of Roly. Yeah, they all watching everybody who got a handle on their liars, and there's yeah, so yeah, they listen to us on their phones, on our phones. Always watching that, like that song says, I always feel like somebody's watching me. You know. So right, we're gonna not get no callers. The first day I tried to premiere this to have a call-in thing. Think maybe something could be different instead of doing all the work on using like a software OBS or something, getting the images together. Because I got a bunch of images to show of meltification more in different realms, but realms of areas that I know and some of the convoluted history. I think that's important to share when you're sharing some of these red brick images of meltification everywhere, to see if there's what convoluted history we can dig up first to see what they say, and then show the world, hey, look, this is how it really went down. You know, like something other than tectonic plates and erosion and eons of millions of years. Roly R, I'm a child of Yahweh, huh? All right. We're all supposed to be, right? Yeah, we are not allowed to investigate, right? Yeah, we can't go into a lot of places. I know I hitchhiked all over this America, um, and many places you can't go, blocked off. Yep, so true. Who to know? Who the hell knows? There, covenant remnant. See, are we Abraham's seed? We 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 have so many stories of what we are. It's hard to determine. And my parents just yesterday went and seen the Who in a college somewhere in Florida, and that's perfect. Who are you? Who? So really, who are we? Everything's convoluted. It's there to divide and conquer. And who are we? Huh? I know we're all a bunch. If you're in America, wherever you came from, your town was wrecked and divided, and you're here with me. Who owns the who? Covenant Remnant says he knows who owns the who, and probably their rights and so forth, publishing rights and record rights and all that, right? Huh, wonder who. Could it be? Oh, yeah. Well, enough said. Pigeon peckers. Yeah. ABC 123. Right. Yeah. Exactly. The PP. The pigeon peckers. Yeah, and they're trying to weaponize anti Semitism now, as we can all see. There was one lady out of Michigan who spoke out about what they're doing and trying to weaponize anti-Semitism and say that's the same thing that they used, and then the liberal weirdos all screamed out anti-Semite, that she's an anti-Semite. How is she an anti-Semite? And she was just pointing out some facts of history. You know, if we have to have laws to say something, so 23 countries, have to have laws to say something occurred. We know that's an absolute lie, and it didn't occur how they tell it, but we know how it occurred: death and destruction. Right? Yeah, but Henry Ford, he wrote a letter on his deathbed to say that that's all not so. So that's what the Zionists repropagated into mainstream to try to get you to look away and say it's not so. But if you read it, everything that's being done in our world right now is in that uh, learned elders of Zion protocol. See, I mean, in a chronological form too, per how they've done it and are doing it. So go figure. Mr. Ford tried to warn the world. He was Masonic and he had second thoughts on it before he was going to check out, and his conscience got to him. So he ratted on him. So they had to find a way out. So they tell you that that's a conspiracy when they conspired to show what he has as information is misinformation. That's what I say and believe adamantly, just based on what I lived in my life and the history, the convoluted history that I've dissected and seen through, and see who's really in charge with the SS groups, your secret societies, the pharaonic era, it remains, you know, we got these losers like Gretchen Whitmer, and like our Elon Musks and all these weird people that are just in a club, and the smartphones have dumbed them down. Right? So who owns the who? One particular record label? I don't know. I'd have to research it. But anyway, who gives a fuck, right? Right. So, let me get something else. We gotta get something else, don't we, man? It's kind of dreary. Huh? Well, we gotta do something. I gotta plug this phone in, man. It's ready to die. So can't imagine today. I'm glad it wasn't me. It ain't too loud, is it? It just has some background noise. That's all. That's all I got going up here. A little background noise. So, wow. Okay, let's see here. What were we doing? Okay, we got well, someone gave us a thumbs up. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, whoever gave us a thumbs up. But we ain't really doing nothing. We ain't really doing nothing. We're trying to get a call-in show going, get other people's thoughts about um, these secret societies, um, this augmented weather, chemtrails. What do you want to talk about? Call in, give us your thoughts. We need more people in the subscriber list and get on board. Do things together, man. Let's do something, man. I don't know. That kind of irritates me there. Sorry about that. That's boring. There we go. What up? This one's for you. Call-in show. What do you think about these chemtrails? What do you think about this government corralling us all in the corner? Anybody out there? We got the Covenant Remnant in the house. We got Rory R. But these controversial. So we heard through the grapevines. Some of those burned crosses. So here we are out of Michigan, talking to people from Indiana, different parts of this realm. Maybe we're going to make phone calls. Maybe we'll reach out and touch you. We'll touch different people. We'll just pick out the white pages and call people randomly. Warning them. Warning, warning. Do what they told you. Torture. Torture. What they taught you. Torture. Torture. Anybody out there got anything to say about this chemtrail day? Deaths on the way, tornadoes, hurricanes, hail, trains, explosions at your chocolate factory. Where's Willy Wonka? Just in Pennsylvania, we had a red brick building of the past explode. Killed 2, 9 missing. Be careful where you go. Okay, anybody want to give us a call in here at 313-409-8236. All callers are welcome. You don't have to be a subscriber to call this number. You want to talk about something, give your input. You want to call in and give us some advice, whatever. We're open for suggestions. We want this to be your platform. Oh, a lot of freaking cussing this morning. Hear that song? That's a frequency. See? Now, if we keep playing that song over and over and over in our schools and our neighborhoods, everyone would soon have a very hostile mentality about government. See? Frequencies can control the mind. Just like all these inner city kids are listening to this black rap gangster stuff, and they have a violent mentality. Will steal cars, and they play games where part of you're earning degrees in this game by raping, pillaging, and robbing, and different murder, and all these. You get points in the game, and then they listen to gangster rap music, and then they get in the street and they try to emulate that in society. So if that ain't controlling someone's mind with that kind of crap, and AI bot would tell you a frequency can't do that, can't control man, and I tell you it can. So what do you think? Anybody got any input or knowledge about brain mind control and what's really capable of being done? Or any understanding of the insect world that does those same things? So anybody, give us a call, 313-409-8236. This is Black Mirror Walker, Chief Joseph Domain. It looks like I'm sunk way down, don't I? There, is that better? Yeah, I think that's going to be better. Yeah, that's better. So you can see me better now. Yeah. So we need some callers to call in because we're trying this for the first time. We're at 43 minutes and not one caller yet, but we don't have a lot of subscribers. We don't even have 200 subscribers on this, so we're hoping that maybe YouTube would put us out there and get us some subscribers today or some callers. Even you, Rolly R, call in. Even if you're control, you got something to say, share with us. Or anybody got any advice? What are you doing to prep for the future? Should we prep for the future? Should we be worried about the banks? Should we be worried about these fake leaders? Are they coming to wreck our America next? Huh? Are we funding the weapons that will come against us soon? See? Why are they busy building a bunch of submarines right now? Are floods coming? What? And does the average person know the difference between a contrail and a chemtrail? If you produce a video about chemtrails, the government officials and their constituents will place an ad under your content about contrails. So they'll put more misinformation underneath your information. That's useful information to understand. And we're not going underneath their contrail videos saying, no, that's not so. Those are chemtrails, see? But we should be allowed to, right? If they could do that to us, why don't we have protocol to put something underneath theirs? See? And you're limited when you have a comment to make or report somebody. You'd rather say some verbal what they're allowing. Instead, they'll give you these elements of what you should pick of what's wrong. And half the stuff that's wrong is what they're implementing and what they're doing. See, that's unconstitutional for one, but they get away with it. How? For how long? I don't know. Till they take your channel away, right? So, we don't got no callers. Nope. I should call in myself, huh? Well, let's see. Maybe we can get us a caller on the phone. Maybe I could call my brother. Maybe I'll call my brother. Oh, but he said he was going to take a nap, man. My brother's got a bad back right now, so I want to call him. I was going to call my brother just to hear a military guy talking about shit, man. It's so easy. I even made a video about it. In fact, I went from legally blind to near 2020. Yeah, 2020 vision. We don't want to hear your ad. Yeah, how much you want? How much you want for us to get new eyes? Right? Exactly. I went new eyes to this beautiful medicine. It's clogged. What were we doing? That was a good hit. It has dragon fruit, man. Dragon fruit. Oh man, my breathing's fine. Well, say we got 4 viewers. Someone give us a call here on the call-in line. Let's just make sure it's all working. Give us a call here. Just say hi. You won't have to talk long. Numbers 313-409-8236. Give us a call, will you? Test our switchboard out for us. Well, I guess that's just, I bored everybody to death. So nobody's in the house no more. So test our switchboard for us. Give us a call at 313 409 8236. That's a Detroit, Michigan exchange, 313 area code 409 8236. Give us a call. Say hello. Uh, who is us? Uh, Me and my alter ego, I guess, man. I just said that as like to be team orientated, if you will. You know what I mean? Because I have the AI bots that will assist in any question anybody calls in with that I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's the AI bots, me, and well, you see, I have two channels. One I host Red Bricks Bob, another one I host as Black Mirror Walker. And they both developed from one that I started that got taken away from me called Robert News. That's how my other two channels developed out of one channel that I got all the way up to 15,000 subscribers, and it was taken away from me. So, and it was a really bad time in my life, and there was a lot of negative videos about myself that I produced myself that if I viewed them today too, I wouldn't want nobody to see them. You know what I mean? So some of the videos I did produce, I wouldn't even want mainstream media to see some of the stuff that I produced on YouTube when I had 15,000 subscribers with Robert News. See, and a lot of weird things happen. A lot of weird things happen with technology and what one of people call rights, and your your voice can be heard, and they don't allow that. And that was early on, because if our voices would have been heard early on from like 2006 till now, most of these politicians would be welded in cells, and we'd have a whole new infrastructure of government working really utilizing these NASA funds and all these garbage funds so we could give our people um, better energy, safer and more reliable energy uh, independently in each little group. We would not allow any type of chem spray anywhere. All planes would be grounded until we figured out who was the ones that are spraying us, and they would be welded in cells as well. All the green people with their green effect and their um, greenhouse effect agenda crap and global warming agenda crap, all welded in cells. No trials, put them right to work doing something with a jumpsuit on and chains on their ankles. See, get them in the agricultural field, turning over fields or something, right? Have them doing something. Even if you just get them in a big hamster wheel, we'll get these douchebags in the big hamster wheel that go around, and we'll make electricity from them. They got to do 8 hours a day on the track, every one of them douchebag leaders. And we could redesignate one of these buildings, like one of these capitals, and put a double fence around it and a bunch of hamster cages on there, and then zap, and then, them collars, zap collars on them. And when they have to get up and go get on the thing, they zap them, go get on the wheel, and don't get off until your 8 hours is up. And then they get off the wheel and feed them some bologna. Green bologna is preferable. They like green bologna because that's what they serve a lot of people, green bologna. So the people of the sun were coming back around. Don't block the sun. Don't talk about blocking the sun. Put your chemtrail weapons away. Lay off with the frequency. Why are you killing citizens, right? Sam I am, green eggs and ham. Yeah, I love Dr. Seuss. He says, peace, let's have a truce. In the back of a caboose while it goes boom, boom, boom in Ohio, you know. Yes, a PP Freemasonry. Yeah, so true. A Freemason PP person. In the weaponized world, today we have to use phrases like PP to give a understanding to somebody what we're talking about. And that's pretty sad, man. And it can't be what it is. And even then, somebody's going to say something and be derogatory. And we should be able to look and see and judge all things, man. If I look at the sky and it's blue, and it looks blue to me, and I judge it, and it looks blue, it's blue. Okay? They are watching the PPs and the AT&Ts and the Elvis. Elvis lives. They live. They're all in Antarctica waiting for the big finale show. Yeah, they're all at the other Epstein Island. Huh? You see, hey, you guys can't take me down. I got dirt on all of you. Oh, don't worry, man. You're going to commit suicide there. They'll never see you again. Oh, thanks. Well, two left. They must have been PPs. Yeah, yeah. You have to decipher the crazy. Yeah. Some will see that as crazy, and you find the crazy in the crazy. And some of the craziest things show you a path in a different direction altogether and can see things clear even through that craziness. Yeah. So it is, I know exactly what you mean because that particular character you're talking about, uh, he, uh, he was in journalism and, something happened and he got on welfare in the state of California. And if it wasn't for his sister, he wouldn't even be where he is at today. And I guess he just got married or something. Someone was telling me. I think Mike was telling me, or someone was telling me that. Maybe it was Mike Davino was telling me that. I don't know. Yeah, did you see that thing about Agent Elvis on Netflix? It's some little cartoon that Priscilla Presley put together where they show different conspiracy theorists in cartoons that Priscilla Presley wanted to input to us, like her about Elvis having relations with. Well, that was a phone ringing. I thought it was for me, but it wasn't. It was the house phone. So you could divert things from there. Maybe I should take their call right there here too. So hello, man. We're talking live. We'll ask the telemarketers for their opinion, right? When they call here, we'll say, hold on. Yeah, I probably could get a couple callers that way. It says I called in. Somebody called in. A voicemail. Hello?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
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 Wrong
Who are you calling?
calling the chief.
What's up? This is the chief. What's going down? Who we got on the line here? Huh?
I don't know, man. Who's this, man?
I know who it is, brother. How you doing, man? How's Texas? Huh?
Great.
Okay. Well, we had our first caller there. The area code was 317. What area code is 317 in? Huh? Yeah, what area code? That's Indianapolis. Is that you? Was that you just now? Covenant Remnant? Hello?
Covenant Rim.
What's up?
To
How you
accept,
doing?
press 1. To send a voicemail.
I didn't realize that the lag between the live stream and the phone call is so bad.
Oh yeah, I bet it is.
It's so bad that I couldn't recognize your voice on the phone versus what was going on
Oh right,
as I was watching live because the lag was so bad. That's
right,
probably because of all the censorship and all the screening they're doing to
right,
everything that's live.
right.
Anything that's being recorded in the public domain
Yeah,
is being ran through AI and processed. So
right.
I mean, the lag is like way bad. So I couldn't even tell. I sat here and listened to the stream some more,
Right,
and then I actually heard myself call in
right.
like a good where a direct line is like
I know what you're
very
talking
good.
about. I mean, I use software and and you try to get the frame rate right and everything right, and I see the big delay, you know, in it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't do anything with software or any of that, man. And these hackers, they just kind of piss me off. So they're always trying to fuck with somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been using.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, they know how to get into all this shit. I don't even, it's wild.
Right,
These guys that are writing thousands of pages of code stuff. I mean, off the, yeah, okay.
right. Well, you ever heard of Chat GPT?
No, I ain't heard shit.
Well, that's just
I live blind.
that's an AI that's online and you can use it,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I tested against the one that we're trying to get together here, and we inputted truth or stuff too. You know, where this Chat GPT, I can tell whoever programmed it is programming it for to go with mainstream media jargon like the moon and all this other crap. You know, their chat bot doesn't have the capabilities to free think yet. See, they just input what they want inputted, you know, about NASA and the Milky Way and
Garbage in, garbage out, like they say.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, and they
They're
use
having
this
a
they use
control.
this same chat GPT and platform about new technologies they're using. So one day a bot will be able to read your mind and tell if you're lying or all this other stuff. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
shut
we
up.
already kind of know. I mean, through like lie detector tests and stuff
Right.
that everybody's got different frequencies and everything vibrating at different
Well,
degrees.
look at here, sir.
That's why,
Just like frequencies,
like
right?
really, there's like only one substance in the entire universe, and it's light, at
Right.
different degrees.
Right. We are dense light, right, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and a
So
vibration.
I just, yeah, like some people think of God as like a sublime being. God is over here. He's way up there.
Right.
He's in heaven. That like they don't know that God is everything.
Right.
He is light.
Yeah, you know, when most of my life
In a
I
way,
chased
you
the
are
God
of
theories
essence.
and streams of what
Yeah,
different people cast and the aspersions on my life, then when I had a new look at things and you know trying to reason things through my own mind's eye of where are we at and what's standing. When I was young, I even said that. I go, think about this. I would tell people. I said, we start off, we get exploded right into a matrix and we know where to swim, right? So we get exploded out of a matrix, we know where to swim, and we then we get exploded out of the matrix with the burst of water, and we enter this realm and there's a globe over top of us, but we don't know and we're tricked into believing all kinds of other things. See? So then I think to myself, okay, now we propel ourselves through, you know, this region we call the realm in our cars with an explosive series of explosions in our car, you know. Oh, I lost my caller. Well, I lost my caller here. Well, oh, we could just give him call him back. Because it might have been me hanging up on him. Hello? Hello?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello?
hey brother, I don't think I hung up, but
I thought I did it. That's what I thought. I thought I
you
might
probably
have.
did because I was like, hold on, what happened?
You know what? If you're familiar with,
you're really going on a good tangent though.
but you know what? If you ever
A
used
lot of
VoIP,
real stuff.
did you ever use VoIP and VoIP a number off your VoIP line in your home?
I'm not
Well,
a sophisticated
if you did, what
efficient
happens is
living.
if you don't have it networked right, then if while you're in the middle of
Yeah,
doing something and I'm streaming off it, so I'm streaming off it, I got a VoIP number off of it. So if someone calls the number I'm VoIPing off of, it will disconnect it for a second. But if you would have stayed there, it would stay on. See?
oh, it would have.
Yeah, just like why does my internet provider want to time me out?
Well,
You know?
my phone timed you out because it hung up.
Right.
Like
See?
it,
Yep.
yeah, on my end, I didn't
Oh
hit a
yeah.
button. It just completely disconnected.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and battery saver and stuff like that too. If you're have battery saver on your smartphone and you're watching a video or something, it'll just shut your video right down.
This is like smart. This is a nice phone. I've had it now for a while though. I said the same thing. I got a nice
Right,
so it
nice.
don't. It really doesn't. It. I mean, it doesn't. You don't. It's too smart. You know what I
Right,
mean? It listens to everything that you do. It's been doing that for years, though. I mean,
right,
this isn't nothing new. It's just people are just now catching on to it
right,
because we've been talking about it for years. It's like, hey,
right,
this is like a internet of all things. You know,
right,
all your devices are basically being connected now, and you don't even realize it that they're all the information is being passed around. That like every word that you're even spoke is could be recorded. I mean,
right,
it's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, having these echoes and all these different, and this even having 5G. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I mean, I think the implications are going to be like we're not going to see people live as long as some of these boomers. I tell you that.
right.
People are not going to be 80, 98, 100 years old.
No,
We're going to see a drastic reduction in the lifespan of human beings of the next decade, the next
right.
generation.
Yeah, they're forecasting a
Kids are
big
not.
lung epidemic with all these young kids vaping this shit out of China.
And look how they've done. Well, look at this. Look how they've done it already in history. They keep redoing the same. They run the same game over and over because these kids are taught by their parents who just already ran this game, like tuberculosis, where they
Right,
turned all these, redesignated all these buildings into sanitariums. And
right,
then when it fit them, they changed them from sanitariums, all of them, like universally across the entire country.
right. Right
Seems
now,
like most of these things, when you look at these places when they were first built, they're
right,
like so immaculate, decked out. They look like something from Europe, like
right,
Parliament buildings. And now you're telling me this is a sanitarium, right?
right,
And then,
exactly. Another
yeah, yeah,
redesignated
and
building,
it looks
right.
like a damn, yeah, it looks
Castle,
like a
right,
Parliament. And then as the years go on, you see that the building gets ripped apart, gets dumbed down, and dumbed
right.
down, and dumbed down. You
Yes,
know what I mean? It's
yeah,
a gradual process of elimination of these massive, huge structures, whether it's got like millions of bricks involved
right.
that, we're not even putting near the effort nowadays. I mean, we're
No,
putting up concrete slabs and we can't even lay those things straight.
right,
You ever look at one of these warehouses that are like square buildings with no windows?
right,
You know what I mean? And that's where they move in all the immigrants and stuff. So they'll start building apartments around them,
right.
and then they move in a bunch of immigrants, and then they like basically start. I mean, I'm just this is
Well,
true.
like,
And then
are you
they start
familiar with the
walking.
guy's channel named Global Vision? Have you ever seen that guy's channel?
I've heard of that. Yes, I
Well,
have.
he ain't produced nothing, since the onslaught of our COVID stuff that were faced and everything, right? But he produced a lot of videos, and early
Yeah.
on, he
Well,
had
it's been going on since the AMA, like the Rockefellers. And when we switched over from this, I can't even. I mean, you're going to get flagged because I say allopathic care to homeopathic care. Like there's a sway, and the quackery. They
right
make doctors
medical. Look,
quacks. Yeah.
I told a story on my Red Bricks channel about a particular girl that something really happened to her, and they gave me medical misinformation, and there was no medical
Yeah.
misinformation given whatsoever.
I
Swear
mean,
to you, it was just
I mean,
information they
there's
didn't want the
I
public
would
to
say
be
it's a
aware of.
paradigm swing.
They just didn't want the
Yeah.
public to be aware of what I was telling the public, because it would have been alarming to them how often
Yeah.
things occur that that I have an explanation for, and mainstream medical
I mean,
doctors don't. See,
like tuberculosis. So that's when they invented the iron lungs. That's not
right,
medical misinformation.
right.
That's true.
No, right now I'm looking at 11 of the
And that's
oldest
when they first
buildings
started. And
in
look
your
at
area, in Indiana.
COVID.
They got this one building
How,
that I'm
how
looking
many
at.
ventilators were passed around during COVID?
Right,
Iron lungs. The iron
right,
lungs is what made way to the ventilator. And it was tuberculosis. It's the same game. They keep running the same trick over. It's like a broken record. It's like Groundhog's Day.
Right.
It's literally the next generation pulls the same tricks as the generation.
What my grandfather
You know,
on my
you know what
German
it is.
side, he had tuberculosis from the war,
Yeah, well, a lot of
World
people
War II. He was a prisoner.
well, that's a little bit different. I mean, he might have had some kind of disease of his lungs from something that he was exposed to.
Yeah, work.
But not necessarily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
not
work,
necessarily
right?
that he caught
Not
some
having the
fucking
right
disease from
respirators
somebody
when
else.
you're grinding metals and all that shit. You know, my
Yeah,
grandpa was a
man,
worker.
well, definitely. I was actually a grinder myself for a
Me
while.
too. I was a welder
I did it in
fabricator.
between for like, I was real good with die grinders, belt grinders. Like I would take uh, boat props. I would do big boat props, and I would just do them by hand. And Japanese people would videotape me doing it, so they could
Wow.
build a machine to do the same thing.
Wow. Right.
It was crazy. They'd come in there and like videotape me as I did this over and over again
Right.
for like a whole day, so they could actually try to get it.
So you ever been to the Allen County Courthouse?
I've been to a lot of courthouses. I love visiting a lot.
That's
I've been
right
to
there in
almost
Indiana,
every courthouse.
right?
I'd have to. I can't remember which one it is.
Allen
I've
County
been to
Courthouse,
about
but it's another
I've
Capitol.
seen it. I guarantee you, I drove by it.
Right.
I've seen it. I've actually
Right.
investigated it, but I've actually seen like every courthouse in Indiana.
The green top on it, right? Looking old, sunk down,
They're all
like it's
you look at
top
all of
heavy,
them, Indiana.
and yeah,
Salem, Indiana. Look up. I'm telling you,
it looks just like the
crazy
same
shit.
construction of Detroit, of the Wayne County building.
Yeah.
Same
It's
construction,
all over
you
the
know.
world.
Right, I know.
It's in a little island that's called Portugal in the Atlantic Ocean. That's like as big as
Right.
you don't even know it's there unless you zoomed in.
Right, you got like
there's
I know how many churches that look like castles all throughout Indiana. It's incredible. It's like, wow, you guys are so religious. You have
You look up
churches every other block. You had a
courthouse.
castle.
This is an amazing deal. The courthouse of Salem, Indiana, right? It's built in like 18. Dude, the whole history of Indiana is so bogus.
Right.
The way it supposedly came up south.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it don't even make sense. And then like the way they block it off in these straight lines. And then like these first settlers were supposed to come in like Pogues Run in like 1812 in Indianapolis.
Right.
Like, and then literally by the time like what is it like 1836, there's a full blown out city. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
And in Salem, Indiana, this courthouse is so old. You should look at the original construction. I had to, as soon as I seen it, I was like, wow, this is a gem. This thing is, I don't know how old. It looks brand new today, right? And guess what? The Masonic town that lives there, right? They got all the people saying, well, it needs so many repairs. We don't know.
Right.
Well, they say that courthouse, that quadrillion-dollar courthouse today needs so many repairs. We don't know. And I told him, I said, they can't wait to tear that thing down.
Right.
That they're itching, they're chomping at the bit to
Right.
tear it down right now.
Right.
And then you look at the old pictures of it, like you can tell this is 1880s like Photoshop. Literally, where they vanilla skied out, cut the complete top off its center. They put like a makeshift fake crane in front of it that doesn't even, the size comparison is so far off to imagine what this crane would have had to bend.
Right.
It's so absurd. I mean, it is completely absurd. I mean, almost everything in every like.
No, look, here's one that's in your area too. It's called the First Baptist Church of Salem. I seen a guy have a video about it. Okay. In your area, and he shows where there was some meltification of the past and some sinkage. So it shows that it's an older building, and it looks just like a building that's down the street from us here. It looks just like a building down the street, same construction, and they tell you that was built in the 1900s, right? But then there's the debate because there are evidence and pictures and paintings that it was a lot earlier than that, almost 200 years earlier than that. So when was it really built? See what I mean?
And like I'm saying, the point I'm making is like today, these talking heads, these parrots that are living in this town that are ran by these Masonic orders and stuff,
Right.
these secret societies that are infiltrated all these little towns and everything. They're literally telling these people that it needs so much maintenance that they,
Right.
when really it would cost so much money to tear it down, it almost bankrupt the town.
Right.
And it's like literally, you can look at this thing today, and standing right now, it's perfection. They
Right.
don't have a building around there. They've tore down most of them. They still have some buildings.
Right.
Not all of them. But they still have some old mud floaters.
Right.
Big mud floaters that are around there all over the place, scattered everywhere. But they try to tear down as many as they can, and they tore down so many of them.
Right.
They covered up all the red brick roads. I mean, these red brick roads.
Oh yeah, tearing them up here in Detroit, big time. Yeah.
I mean,
Look, they just had the red brick chocolate factory in Pennsylvania blow up. 2 dead, 9 missing, and 1 building fucked up. Tear it down. It's an old red brick building of the past.
And they actually have some brick, where they made bricks in Ladavia, Indiana. You got to look this thing up.
Right.
Dude, they got these domes where they're supposedly kennels.
Right.
Dude, they don't even look like nothing's ever been burned inside of them. And they say, like, yeah, they burned fire in these kennels. They look like ruins from old.
Right.
These things haven't been used in 1,000 years almost. You know what
Right.
I mean? That's what they look like. And it just, oh yeah, this is where they had fire and smoke and they burned kennels. It looks like maybe a homeless dude might have had a fire in there.
Right.
Like, seriously, there's no sign of any like fire from brick. Like, we don't know, but it might have been a brick kindling. That might have been what it was. But the way they were powering and doing this thing and all this,
Right.
the way it was going is not the way it's
right.
going today.
No.
And I don't know if even when this thing was discovered or
no. See, like I believe
the landscape might be totally different.
Just like a cat is in Pennsylvania doing videos about the underground stuff. There's underground stuff everywhere. And in here, he finds these huge motors, 500 feet down, these huge motors, right? Generator systems and lighting systems and railroad tracks and all this stuff that's like, well, what's the explanation for this here, right? Now they had this one area, and I say this, they find salt. Okay, like in Detroit, we have all these salt deposits, and they give you this bullshit narrative of how time did this and all that. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't. What they were doing is they had desalination stations, and that's what was going on. They were desalinating the water, and that's why you have all this massive amount of salt built up.
Yeah, and
they're using hydroelectric and
there's the old maps. Like you say, it's one thing about Indiana.
Right.
If you go fossil hunting in the creeks, like there was once a prospector that was, there's people that knew that Indiana was just full of gold.
Right.
And it is. You can rust deposit, all the gold deposit, everything. You can go pan for gold in Sugar Creek. But they had some PPs come down from like Florida or come up from Florida and tell them that glaciers came down here for them and pushed all the gold away.
Right.
They don't have anything but a couple scrapes, that's all it is. Don't ever look at these. Now they're all state parks. You can't dig. You can't.
Right.
You're not even supposed to take a geode out of there.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, they won't even let you take a stone out of there.
Yeah, no, you go buy some property and you don't even get the mineral rights to it today.
Yeah. Exactly.
For real. You don't.
So yeah, it's we're a conquered nation. We're a conquered people.
Yeah.
We literally. They stole all of our farmland way back in, the Federal Reserve type days, 1913, with the Great Depression and 30 and all that. They literally, under our backs, just like under our noses, like literally stole everything. And like I say, you go into censuses, 1890s. Like once you go past the 1890s, we don't know. It's been erased. We're given a history of what it is,
Right.
But we have fragments I tell you what, we've got old maps that are questionable. And if you go into like these historic societies in your state, and you start looking at these old maps, look at all of them. They got pictures of all of them. You'll see
Right.
corners missing. You'll see corners missing. You'll see dates, question marks by the dates. I mean, there's speculation on just the history from like the 19th century. You know, like literally, that's how quick history gets lost. You know, pictures
Oh,
get
right.
burned and
Yeah.
books are gone. You know, and then basically then all you have is this mainstream narrative, and you don't have the alternative. It disappears. You know, it
Right.
slowly, gradually, turns into like some taboo, like, oh, that's flat Earth. You know,
Right.
and then instantly nobody.
Right.
I mean, I would like to say, that's how they treat it.
Yeah.
And as soon as they got their cues, as soon as they hear something like that, they're gonna shut down anyways.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm more of a geocentric, electric universe guy. I don't necessarily think that the world's got to be flat. I'm not going to fight about it. I don't want to like death to the. I want my people, that feel and look like me.
Right. You know what?
Love and
I'm one of them guys who feel that it's flat. I just feel that it goes way beyond. I think it goes way, way beyond what we're on. I have this crater theory in my head still.
I don't necessarily, because like when you go back to Ptolemy and all these old Greek philosophers, I mean, and these guys, a lot of them did. They said the world was round, but it was geocentrism. They thought that, and that explains parallax at least. At least, I mean, not saying it explains everything though.
Right.
But like the parallax of the stars, if you are at the exact center spot of the universe, and the stars are all spinning around you, they're not going to parallax. I mean, there's a lot of, and then like say with electric universe theory, like where our sun is and our Earth is like plasma orbs. We don't know what kind of crystal is in the core of our Earth, or what kind of iron ore crystal is flowing down there that is conducting electricity. That's some kind of magnetron thing. We don't know, you know what I mean? That's why they call it black rock or vanguard. And they try to put it in your face about what's going on without telling you, what I mean, about energy and electricity.
Right, the arc, right, what it's really about. I call them energy vampires, right?
And I feel like they've used flat Earth as a way to like to screw people over, because our people got a good mind and a good heart, and it's real easy to get deceived by this because there's a lot of sophistication in this stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, it could be flat, and it could be a plane, but as you think about it, look at little things around you, it kind of appears to be round too. I mean, you could you don't go hate me because I think the moon looks like a ball, looks like I might live on a ball. And I'm not going to hate you if you think it's flat, because when I look at shit, it is flat to a motherfucker.
Right.
I mean, I think there's a lot of parallaxes and a lot of things that are deceiving to our mind. But there's ways when I got a drone, I'm flying real high, I can see way off, and I can even think I can see a bend around the world just a little bit, but I don't think I can see to the other side. But I don't know if it waves or what else is going on. But at the same time, I kind of tend to think that it's round. And then I live on a globe, and we are probably a special place in the universe that's kind of centric to whatever this is.
Well, that's cool. If that's what you're seeing and believing, I can't tell you, but I tell people
what. Heard the experiments of the mirrors in a box, where the light's infinity. You put one light in the middle of four-way mirrors all the way around in a box, and you look in there, and the reflections of all the lights in the mirrors appear to be
well, I do know about light refraction, and I do play with lasers and mirrors, and I know if you have a beveled edge in two mirrors of what kind of pattern from 12 to 24 patterns.
There's no way the world's spinning There's no way like the Earth is spinning
No,
because of the way gyroscopes and everything
you
work.
know,
There's
I
no way a gyroscope would even work if the
right,
world was spinning or if the world was moving.
right.
You know, if the world was in an orbit
Well, we
around
know,
the sun,
we
and
know,
we
we
were
know
moving
by
and
mainstream
traveling,
media, they
there's
tell
no,
us that we have
we're
a
either
resonant sound,
geocentric,
right?
we're either geocentric or flat Earth. It's like we literally are narrowed down between two decisions: geocentrism and flat Earth. Because we know that we're not heliocentric. There's no way that we're moving around the sun. It just wouldn't
Right.
add up.
Right.
Like even at the opposite ends of the years, we would be like, instead of being day, it would be night. It would like totally flip. Even like simple like mathematics
Right.
could even. That's how we know that we're being ruled by like we got these nerds. Nerds aren't heroes. Nerds aren't heroes. They get told what to do. You know what I mean? They might be smart. They might even be smart. They might even know what's right. But a lot of times they get told what to do, and they're suckers for getting
Right.
built up and
Right.
being believing something that they're not. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, you know, they fill these people up, they pay them too much money, and they make them think that they're something that they're not. Oh, you're just a genius.
Right.
No, you're not necessarily a genius. You're
Right.
just going with the flow, what
Right.
this guy's telling you to say. Because if anybody actually does their own independent studies and goes against mainstream, we know what happens. You know what I
Right.
mean? They get shut down, they get ridiculed
Right.
real fast. That redshift doesn't exist, you know, like, hold on. Well, redshift is not how you measure the distance between, you know, the speed of light, you know. So if you're actually, everything's expanding and we're moving far apart, you know, there's redshift from quasars that are, like, far closer than, like, the other universe. Like, so we know that is, like, everything that they use, string theories and all this stuff that they try to use to explain away what the ether and well, I like to say plasma cosmology, or, you know, that everything is teeming with life. It's just like space is just like the ocean, you know, the plankton and everything. I mean, it's just flowing out there. The plasma is pumping.
Yeah,
it's
well,
like a heart.
see, and I see that's and see, just like you see that, and I don't see that. I see on the other side of the veil, I see water, blue water.
We are water.
And we're in a veil, and there's a veil over top of us, just like when we were in our mother's womb, there was water over top of us.
Exactly.
We get spit out,
water.
and we look outside this realm that we're in the same thing. We're in the bubble.
You know, water and plasma. It's like
right.
The body. They flow the same way. Plasma and water is like basically the same thing.
Right.
The water's from the earth and the in the air. What happens from the water? Right. You see all the plankton, the bugs, all the way down to the microorganisms.
Right.
Just teeming of life.
Right.
And then when you get into air, what is happening? The air is water too. It's all water. It's just a different state.
It's a gas. Right. It's gas. Right.
Just like below the water, there's a frequency and vibration that produces oil. That's why oil is abiotic. It's a renewable resource. It never run out. It's constantly being pumped through the earth because it's at the right stage, right frequency, atmospheric pressures, and then boom, oil just spews out. That's why when reservoirs get depleted, they refill billions of gallons because they call it migrating oil. But no, it's because oil is like water. It's the same thing. And then as you go up into the air, look at all the microorganisms that fly and live in the air, down from tiny ass bugs to gnats to all in the species that go up. And as you go into space, the same thing is going on. You know what I mean? It's a water of a different kind. And you've got different types of creatures that are flowing and living in. It's just the way it is. You know? I'm not necessarily going to say that you know, that there's going to be some aliens or nothing. I mean, just telling you, you know.
That's what the government wants. It's been pushing down our neck. Aliens and Joe Rogan and this kind of stuff.
God created Satan, you know, and Satan obeying God. Because Satan does not have power over God. And even though Satan's doing evil, he's obeying God. And he is created to do a job. Not necessarily that he even had to become Satan. He was created Satan. So, I mean, there's a lot more to God than what people want to, like, admit in Judeo, Christianity, or mainstream religion. Yeah, they don't want to talk about it. They want to be like, oh, Jesus, oh, You know, and they don't want to do anything themselves.
Right.
They go to the doctor and get pumped up with pharmaceuticals. They don't even know about pharmakia and what the Bible really says about usury. I mean, like literally, if you read about usury in the Bible, that's condemnable by death. And if you know what usury
Right.
is, it
Right.
means the loaning of money with
Right.
interest.
Right.
So if you got a credit card, you're a slave.
Right.
Dude, the Bible literally tells you that the debtor is the slave, you know what I mean, to the creditor. You
Right.
are the slave to that. You can't serve two masters. It tells you what it like. John the Baptist came out of the mountains dressed in
Right.
sackcloth, and Jesus says there's no greater man that ever walked the earth than John the Baptist.
Right.
Come out there, he ain't coming down
Yeah,
there
he
in
liked
flying
to
reeds.
he liked to eat
He ain't coming down
honey
out
and
there in
locusts,
robes
right?
with gold chains. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
not. It's a simple person. It's a dirty person. It's a person that you think that the world's going to teach you is a bad guy.
Right.
But even though nowadays it is a bad guy.
Right.
Anymore, you can't trust anybody on the streets. Those people are crazy as hell.
Yes.
Can't trust anybody that's talking about God. You got to really have your own.
Yeah, you got to.
Because
You have to You have to be reborn
you have
almost.
to
To
read
be reborn is to
stuff.
finally see that everything basically been told
Well,
is a lie, and you gotta swipe through your own
well,
little.
there's a thing like even when Jesus talks about it, and he's talking to the rabbi, and he says, "Well, I got to do, re-enter my mom's womb and be born again."
Right.
And he told him not to think too hard of it, and it also can be translated to born above, born from above, and so like I don't necessarily believe that theology where I was baptized on 3/16/1966. I don't necessarily believe that there was an actual rebirth or
Right. I know.
it's more of a Baal kind of paganistic kind of already approach to how we used to approach religion in the first place. Like
Right.
when we go back in our history. So I just think that like you need to kind of like watch a lot of the beliefs, like especially with the rebirth or born again. But I understand that there is a point in your life where you do recognize that you need to change, and it's usually when you're so a lot of times with people it's when they're at their lowest because like a hard heart. You can't really crack the hard ground to plant a seed, So sometimes your heart's got to be really broken up for, you to actually even be able to receive a morsel of something that you're even wrong because your ego is like so strong, like you don't want to ever let go, like, I didn't do that. You try to you don't ever want to admit that you're actually like a sturdy sinner, like you've done some
Right.
shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Too,
right.
Yeah. You don't want to be a dickhead.
Right.
You want to be like a fucking good person and treat everybody right. And you don't want to be around murderers, people want to kill people for drugs or.
Right, man, and all that horse.
Yeah.
Right. That's just.
All this dumb stuff is going on. I don't want to be around drugs.
The frequencies and people. Right. Even in the song and what we're gonna hear. Killing my neighbor.
Weed is not a drug. Like smoking weed is just natural. And plus, I mean, drugs have always been a part of civilization. Period. Right. We've always, like I say, we used to have they call it to AMA. They used all these derogatory terms like snake oil, stuff like that. We used to prescribe. You used to be able to go down to your local CVS and get some morphine, not heroin, but mixed it because that was like Bayer's Lab version of morphine.
Right.
It was not addictive. But we used to be able to go get morphine, cannabis oils, all kinds of stuff just at your local store and be able to hey, we're going to treat this, this lady's a little sick. We're gonna give her a little bit of this. We're gonna give her a little bit of that. Or this person's sick. We're gonna give her a little bit of this Candace oil. We'll give her a little bit of this morphine, or we'll give her,
Right.
some alcohol mixed with it. And we would do that. That was our treatment. Even that's our medicine.
Right.
But we got away from that. We got taken away from that. And people were living long back then.
Right.
I mean, there's people living being 90 years old then.
Right.
It's kind of like what they say, the survival of the fittest. It's like, oh yeah, Darwin. Like Charles Darwin, we know he's a pigeon pecker. But
Right.
Charles Darwin at the same time, he's always like, yeah, you got these people that believe like, yeah, survival of the fittest. How in reality is the survival of the fittest when there's always sick, there's always feeble, there's always, no matter what, at any point in history of time, there's always been sick, there's always been weak, there's always been feeble. In
Right.
every species, there's always a rut, it does not matter. There's not a point in time when there wasn't a weak person. There's not a point in time when there wasn't a stupid person. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's never happened. There's always been spectrums. There's
Right.
always had. So how are you going to tell me it's survival of the fittest when the dumb and the weak and the stupid just keep living and living and living and living?
Right.
Yeah, it's something different. You know what I mean? You got to love your people. And even if somebody is dumb, or stupid, you could, if you actually loved them and took care of them, you could actually mold them into something that was kind of like useful to civilization. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of like pushing people to do all this dumb shit, this crime and drugs and acting like they're mafia or thinking all this crazy stuff. Like, you can't even defend some of these video games anymore. I don't even see how people can sit back and defend them.
Right. I know.
You can't really defend it.
Right.
Like, there's no way that somebody's going out and doing these things in these video games. Like, you can't think that that's not desensitizing
Right.
at all.
Right.
Like, well, I would never do it. Well, is that because you're a pussy? Or
Right. More kids are
because,
shooting kids for all
No,
kind
well,
of
yeah.
crazy shit, man. Yeah.
Well, and and a lot of the ones that we see on TV are staged. Like, there's
Right.
school shootings that happen that you never hear about on national TV.
Right.
That if you live in Michigan, if you live in Indiana, you live in Detroit, you're not going to hear about this shooting that happened in Washington schools because it didn't fit the agenda.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's actually a real school shooting.
Right.
They didn't have like some crew come in and do it,
Right.
or have some MK Ultra,
CNN.
some
Yeah,
guy
CNN coming and
you know
doing
that
it.
guy? You know the Buffalo, New York Buffalo shooting, the black dude, the first dude that dude went and shot had an electric car like Stan Meyer. You know Stan Meyer? Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Stan Meyer built an electric car,
Right.
and he was on the news, and like literally they said even the news, his hometown news station said, yeah, the Pentagon's going to meet Stan Meyer because he's driving all around with this electric car. It runs off water.
Huh.
Electrolysis. He's taking electrolysis in the water and he's extracting the hydrogen.
Right. And imploding the hydrogen. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that cat out of New Mexico? That cat's out of New Mexico, right?
I just know the end of the story. He was in a Denny's eating. He was eating at a Denny's. Literally, after he met with the people at the Pentagon, went straight to Denny's with his family,
Right.
and then died in the parking lot of Denny's. And when he was dying, his last words were, "They poisoned me. They poisoned me." And then
Yeah, I went and down.
literally that Buffalo, the first guy, the cop or whatever that went down from the Buffalo shooting in New York was a black dude that had a truck that literally was ran off the same technology as Stan Meyer through electrolysis turning.
Right. Right. There's a guy who's got a YouTube video. He's out in New Mexico, and he has a Corvette. It runs off of hydrogen that he separates in his garage, and he has these tanks that fit in his car. Yeah, he lives in New Mexico. He used to work for NASA.
I guess it's okay.
I guess
okay
if you're
if you
connected, if you're connected and you work for NASA,
yeah.
See,
If
but
you
if
make
you,
a tank of hydrogen and then go run your car off a tank of hydrogen, that fits the storyline. People are like, oh, he did a tank of hydrogen. Oh, they're made out of water somehow. But look, he's running off the tank that can be metered and sold. But what a great
Yeah, and
guy.
per the
Where-
units he
where
puts
if
in the back of his vehicle.
If you're going to the normie and pouring a gallon of water in your car and
Right.
taking off driving every day, they're going to be like, oh, the hell is he doing?
Well, that's not how he does it. He has these tanks, and he does it in his garage.
Yeah,
He-
he's
he-
making pressure
he-
like a propane tank.
Yeah, he says they're safer. He says, when I'm done, these are safer than gasoline cars. So,
That's what they say about natural gas trucks that they're running around. They said it's gas.
you know, he says it's safe. And I see him driving around. I'm jealous.
I don't know. Have you ever noticed in the old houses that there's like gas lines that run like super deep in the earth, and like they used to have like gas meters like down in people's basements and shit?
Right.
Where like nowadays the gas meters are like barely under the surface. Like you better watch where you dig, 'cause
Right. You got to call Miss Dig. Right.
yeah. And you know how it just like they even got boom boxes and all kinds of things that create electricity, like
Right.
wireless electricity that operate off just like the fraction of like a tiny bit of natural gas. That's all it takes.
Right.
And then you got
No, my brother, he lives right on the tip of the Wassee River, right? And you go up there, and it was all blew down by the Edenville Dam, and it's all low right now. It's going to go back up in about 2 years. But when it was at its peak there, I would walk around there, and methane gas bubbles everywhere, bubbling all over the
Yeah.
place there. So, you could harness that.
Because,
You could harness that to run shit,
well, Army Corps. That's why the Army Corps has took over every dam. Every dam is owned by like the U.S. Army Corps, and then they've got this funny fake history of when these dams are built, and you can
Exactly.
tell that almost all these dams
We're
are
here.
hydroelectric.
We're ready
They're
here.
totally retrofitted from the very beginning.
Yeah.
They're no longer being ran as hydro dams.
Exactly.
But
They're ready here.
like look at Santa Claus, Indiana.
Right.
Indiana. They still
Right.
got the old school hydro dam. It's just the same exact identical
Right.
dam to all these fucking dams.
Hold on.
Same construction.
Right.
Same construction. Got the little tower sitting next to it where all the wires come out of it. And
Right.
they literally can power all of Santa Claus, Indiana off the
Right.
fucking dam. In the state of Indiana, the people, the Chinese corporation, the Vanguard Corporation, the AES, the big one, is buying up every electric company in the entire U.S., the entire world.
Right.
Is literally linking them all together. They don't want you to know this type of stuff.
No.
They're not.
Black Rock and
they're not
right,
gonna-
Blackstone.
Yeah. They're not gonna let you know
Vanguard,
how free and available electricity is. And how
Mhm.
even back just a few hundred years ago, we were running things totally different. Like we had little technologies that would just run off some of the simplest principles. We would
Right.
grow our plants with electricity. Like we would literally wire our fields with like fences with wires that literally would spiral
Right.
with vortexes and counter currents to the where the location of the land is. And you go
There's
on
a
the
guy
other
got a
side of the
videos
world,
about
you've
that
been
on
the other
YouTube.
side.
Yeah, there's some cat, I forget his name. He's got YouTube videos about what you're talking about right now.
It works. It literally works.
Yeah, he
I
said
see it myself.
Like 2 and 3
grow
times
plants
the
that are like
yield, 2 and
dinosaurs.
3 times the size. And they said if he uses copper,
I run like at least 14 gauge, at least, or bigger. Like a big, you want a thick wire, and you want to wrap it around like a bamboo stick,
right?
and you want to drive it all the way down to the bottom of your pot. If you're growing in a pot, you want it all the way down to the bottom of the pot, and you want it to stick up. You want a good 6-foot bamboo stick at least.
Right.
And it's like I say, and just literally you're going to draw energy out of the atmosphere.
Right.
But you gotta know which way you're at, because like different parts of the world, shit spins different ways, and it can be explained either way you want to explain it, because you can literally map right around it, because these guys can invent numbers out of anything.
What I think's around us is that veil. That's all, and that's electromagnetic field. And I believe that's why I say
Yeah,
what I believe a lot of
it
people
is.
don't believe. I believe that we're just trapped on this little chunk, this little crater of what we call Earth. We've been so tricked, and Walt Disney even tell us there's a way out of this little area that we're encompassed in, but you can't go there. See, so I believe that when we look at the moon, that's the reflection of when it blew up and went through our veil and the water came through. See, and I don't know. It's almost like we're quarantined from the world or something, with this bubble over
I
us,
mean,
huh? You know what I
I'm
mean?
with you. I mean,
Why?
I understand. Like, yeah,
The
the
world
moon would have
beyond
to be
us.
bioluminescent. It'd have to be a bioluminescent, almost, uh, just like you would think of a glow stick today. I mean, there's no way that like certain like we know they're lying about everything.
Right.
And it's like I say, if you look at it from the simple point of view of drawing the I mean, even the recessions and everything.
Right.
I mean, it all can be explained in different ways. But like I say, you can look at all of it from like most of these satellite balloons and everything else. They're using geocentric models, and they do like a curvature of light. Not necessarily that light's like traveling. I think light is more or less propagating through the ether. It's not necessarily that light is traveling. It's just propagating through the substance, that
Right.
electromagnetic ether that's flowing through everything.
Right.
So not necessarily that there's some other dimension that it's matter and everything that we see is all one substance, it's light. And,
Right.
I think of God is light. And,
Right.
So, I'm not saying it's your God or I'm God, but
Right. No, there's
God created
when we have so
in
much
the
nonsense,
essence of
we have to pull
himself
together
almost.
something. We have to pull together something, and just like you do, I do. I see that like that. That we're if I don't know anything else, I know that I have electrical charge in me that is busy doing all kinds of stuff for the castle that I reside in, and it's just
Yeah.
amazing
Well,
amazing
it was a great
engineering
guy.
feat of whatever you want to
Yeah.
call that electrical source that got me in here, and I'm in for the ride, and I know old age sucks, and I believe these machines could run better, but we're tricked. See, I believe
They say
we should have
like
been eating differently, we should have been breathing differently,
Yeah.
maybe
Oh
even
yeah.
eating some
They're
psychotropics,
using it against
you
us
know.
now.
Yeah.
They're like not even. They've like stripped us away from all of our like clean, like where we're just living healthy and happy and
Right.
prospering and
Right.
able to have fun because we've done put away enough grain.
Right, in some places in South America where they have a very low caloric diet, they trip on some mushrooms and shit, and some of them live to be 120 some years old and don't get frail and old until they're like 90 or 100.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, if you stay away from the allopathic healthcare system, we're
Right.
like even nowadays. I mean, like I say, they're going to flag this, but if you ever take any kind of anything in your bloodstream from when you're a child on, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. It's automatically going to give you a type of ADHD, and you're automatically going to have some certain issues that's going to. There's no way around the side effects. Those
Right.
side effects aren't
Right.
effects.
Right.
They shouldn't call
Yeah,
them
let's.
side effects.
Right.
They're effects.
We'll end that right there
Now, I mean,
because we don't want to give no
like
medical
pre-19
misinformation on his channel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, I just
You'll
say
get
that
flagged.
because I'll just have to say thermometer, and if I said it
Yeah,
wrong
like,
with a period,
I don't know. Like, I'd probably get flagged because, like, when my daughter was being born, right, the first thing they ask you is, do they want a vitamin K shot?
right,
And do you want a hepatitis B vaccine?
right,
Right. And I was like,
no,
no. There's like, well, the vitamin K shots for the blood. I was like, well, I think she's got pretty good blood,
right,
and I just don't think she's going to need it.
right, Right.
She's like, well, that's fine. You can turn it down. That's totally fine.
Right.
She says,
Huh.
we have Seventh-day Adventists and Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right.
I said, well, that's fine. I said, okay. Well, I turned it down. I didn't say anything about anything else. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness or a Seventh-day Adventist. So I just said, okay. And she said, what about the hepatitis B vaccine? I pulled hepatitis B up on my Google, and it's through like intravenous injection or sexual intercourse. That's how you get hepatitis B. So, do I want to vaccinate my 22nd, 32nd-year-old daughter with the
Right.
hepatitis B vaccine?
No. Right.
No, sir. No.
Right. I
don't
know.
do that.
It's pathetic.
You know.
Yeah.
And then, well, what happened is, well, I got so fortunate is COVID woke my wife up, woke her up because she watched her uncle killed by hospital practices in the most gruesome manner, to where it was almost you should have put him in a closed casket because they treated him so fucking bad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Starved
That's
him,
sad.
laid him on his face until he died. You know
Right.
what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well.
Just COVID,
Yeah.
just bad treatment, just
Right.
bad
Right.
hospital
Right. Right.
treatment. It's bad. Third, that makes up for what is it? Like the third leading cause of death is like medical error. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Medical
It's not.
malpractice. Right.
This is true. This is not like this reality.
Right.
So like when I told him,
That's why they call it practice.
no,
Medical
no.
practice.
So yeah, so like literally they're gonna inject. Like if you don't watch these people, they're gonna inject your kids with a hepatitis B vaccine before you even get to hold them. I'm telling you, they're gonna stick them with this stuff before you even get them.
Right. Right.
That's what's sad about it. So that's
Yeah.
why you know it's wrong. So I said, no, I got to give my daughter. Boom, you're going to give her to me. You're going to do it and do the work. When you go in there and take control with them, tell them no. If you got a religion, thank God. Well, you thank God there is Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses. Because guess what? We started going to appointments, right? Well, this is for 3 months. And when they want to check on their babies. They got that motherly instinct.
Right.
They feel like, God, doctor. And these doctors are smooth talkers, and they're car salesmen. They're shaman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shaman. They're shaman. They are shaman.
Don't squeeze the shaman now.
But they're shaman. You know what I mean? They know how to do their wizardry, and women fall for it.
Right,
So I started to go to all these appointments, and the first appointment, it was so arbitrary. It was like, yeah, her legs are really good. Yeah, her arms go up and down. Look, she bleeds. Yep, she's breathing. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Her toes move. Yeah. How many vaccines do you want to take today? We got like 3 on the regimen.
Right.
I mean, that's your first appointment.
Right.
That's your first visit to the hospital. Or that's your first visit to the doctor after your baby's born.
Right. Right.
They get you in there and
right.
She's so cute. Oh my goodness. And the doctor knows that she's getting paid for every vaccine that she administers.
Right.
She knows it. And you say no, they get upset. They get offended. And so they'll kind of try to use their wizardry. Well, how are they going to go to school? Well, they're at least in my state, they're because of my Mennonite population and my Amish population in my state, there's all kinds of things that you can bypass. You know what I mean? You can just my religion, just like you just said. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Back up off of that. You know what I mean? So the next appointment.
Well, I'm a midnight toker.
Yeah, they sent the guy in here. Oh man, they sent the Fabio in there. They was gonna work one over on her.
Right. Right.
Your husband, he's a big man. But my wife was so in tune already to it. She shut it down, and I was actually really proud. I was like, wow.
Right.
I was like, thank God my daughter's not going to be checked with a bunch of stuff. because I literally watched my son get injected, and she watched him get injected. And now that I was aware already, because since like say 2002, I was already reading protocols of the elders of Zion. So I was already aware, since 9/11,
Right.
what was going on, and that Alex Jones was controlled opposition. I already knew this from 2000. This is years ago.
Right.
I'm not even that old, guy. You know what I mean? And I started realizing that who Martin Luther King was, and who JFK was, what these murders and these assassins, what's martyrdom, and what's what, So I started investigating this stuff early. So it's like, so I knew that when these doctors are out here trying to like sweep.
Yeah, I got a picture of Elvis. I got a picture of Elvis hanging out with Jim Jones. Swear.
About getting vaccines too. Elvis was the first person that was vaccinated.
1953.
The first person that was ever vaccinated on TV was Elvis.
Yeah. And then 89% of the public started taking their pill or their vaccinations. Yep.
Yeah.
He was the poster boy for vaccination of polio, correct. And the day that was filmed, hey, there's more truth to that matter too. Here's another coincidence to that, sir. On the day that Elvis got injected publicly on national television, that was Bill Gates' first birthday.
Yep.
Isn't that funny? Is that just ironic?
You knew about the oral vaccination being like, that they were giving the kids.
Right.
That they actually knew that was paralyzing kids.
Right.
As soon as you were taking it to oral vaccine. And they so in America, they're like, oh, it's causing kids to be paralyzed. We know it is.
Yep.
So, they just continue it. But then they go to Africa overseas. They keep selling these things.
Right.
There's so much there's none of this, all this is malevolent. It's not benevolent. It's all malevolent. It's not because they love you or care for you. Because they absolutely hate you.
Right.
Some things are out of their control. Even though they try to control you as much as they can, they realize that certain things are out.
Hey, that was my bad. I cut you off, sir.
Three, 1, 7, 9, 5, 6, 6, 1, 3, 7, 7 is not available.
Hello. Hello. That's me. I did that. My computer, timed out. Just the screen was black. So I just wiggled my finger over the top of the keypad and it shut you off. So I just did that. So forgive me. So yeah, in mid-stride, I go, oh man, I can't see what's going on over there. There wasn't nothing to see. It was just voice. I got Google Voice up on that computer, but the screen timed out. So that was my fault. Sorry about that. So, but we are gonna conclude anyway. So it was a pleasure talking to you, man. Hope we could do this again sometime, man. You got a lot of good insight.
Yeah, you do too, man. I know you're all, so much it ain't funny, man.
No, I try to, I'm open about anything, I have my own beliefs and I don't necessarily stick to that. I don't. I'm open for someone to convince me of something more to know, for real, I'm personally on this hunt where I've did enough research and the backlogs of who the corporate America is today, the whole line of energy vampires behind hiding the Masonic buildings that they all take over, that were all energy buildings. And I see the big Masonic lie in the Pharaonic era that we're still there. And I know how close they say they're close. I kind of feels like we're in the New World Order. They're just straightening shit up right now. See?
Yeah, they're
So,
getting there.
yeah.
They already got you carrying your mark around. Your phone.
Oh yeah. Social security number, whatever, your Walmart card, or
Oh, I guess there's a lot
because
of
you're a
guys
bleep. You're a
that
bleep on the
lost lives.
page, walking around with your phone.
Yeah,
Bleep. There's another bleep, bleep, bleep. All these bleeps.
you don't want the first neural link. I tell you that.
Now, see, imagine this. Now, your enemy don't know that the device you're carrying now in the future with all these towers, I have a capability, if I had their tech on hand, that wherever a certain bleep is, and I didn't want you to be no more, we could send a frequency and all kinds of chaos your way, and you'd be over it quickly. That's the kind of technology we have today, We have technology could pull up somebody and radiate somebody right there sitting in their car,
It's like having the fast heat of people
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, what is it? What did it say about a fasties?
Well, literally, you can have a flute that can blow your whole town up, man.
Yeah, look, there's whales that use frequencies to do shit. Yeah, they say that the frequencies do something to the sharks, to the great whites, when they're using that frequency, and then they turn the sharks upside down, eat their liver, and go.
Yeah.
They just eat their liver and go.
Killer whales, they flip them up and then,
The great whites, they just like their.
Hey, I just want to say something.
Yeah.
Somebody keeps calling here.
That was my caller.
Oh,
I got it.
he just called again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. See, I was skipping off our phone here. So my woman says, "Hey, why is somebody?"
Yeah.
And I says, "That's my caller." She goes, "Oh." I says, "I got it." So anyway, I had to call you back because I was the one that hung up on you, but I got to close this up here. I got to take care of my dog and stuff.
Have a good day, man.
Hey, man, it was great talking to you, man. Too bad more people couldn't have came in.
It's all right.
No, I mean, because you had a lot of good stuff to say.
Catch you again, man.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what I've been doing lately. Just kind of just like winging it. I don't even know what to say anymore half the time because it seems like I'm not going forward. So you just get kind of discouraged. So I just use it as a sounding board. I run into people like I did you and kick it. And,
Yeah, it's pretty cool because there ain't too many people that realize about the red bricks, and they don't understand it. Like this history is like you say augmented. It's totally not what we're nothing that we even think this colonialism and all this shit that you're being swept down your throat. None of this stuff is
no. They had tech beyond what we have now. Way more tech than we have now. And look at some of them. Just look at some of them Faraday suits. They would call them knights wore these metal things of armor.
Faraday,
that's to get in to carry around the fascies. And they said one person with the fascies was more powerful than 1,000 arrow men.
You understand,
I mean,
that's why I love talking to you, man.
All right. Well, we have it again here live. We had Covenant Remnant out of Indiana, where the temple is, the main temple where they all worship.
Scottish right down there. They say it's the largest Masonic temple in the entire United States.
Yeah, one of the pockets or survival ones are what we're talking about as well.
Like I say, you look at it, no brick. It's all these different huge pieces of slate rock. And
right.
None of them are
Right.
It's a back.
Right.
All right.
All right, brother. You have a beautiful day. Great talking to you. Thanks. That was the first live call we had, and was with a gentleman out of Indiana. It was a great chat. Meet someone. Covenant Remnant. Great time. We also had Rory R. in the house for a minute. Rory R. He says shalom. And that's about it. That's the only people who showed up today. So thanks for making a good afternoon there, kicking it. Peace. We out of here right now. We got to take care of the dog. Love your neighbor like you love yourself.